Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I'm Jessyca from With Grace and Joy Yoga. Today we're going to move through a beautiful Body Sutra Vinyasa. It's just an opportunity for us to get in touch with breath, movement, spirit, particularly today focusing upon our back, keeping it long, strong, fluid, and healthy. So we'll go ahead and come into a seated posture onto the floor. You could sit onto a block or a cushion if you want to elevate the sit bones a bit. Otherwise, sitting on the floor is a fine option. Just take a moment here to start checking in with what I call our vertical line. Breathing down through the sit bones, feeling a nice earthing, a contact with the ground. With each breath, moving the awareness up through the spine, focusing now on the pelvis. This is sort of structured like a bowl here, so it's really important that we breathe deeply, that we move the energy, move the body here frequently. As we continue to breathe, we can pull the lower abdominals in and gently squeeze the ribs together. And as we move the awareness up into the heart space, we want to breathe deeply here into our heart chakras, but being mindful of not arching or bird chesting, keeping again a long, strong line. The shoulders are of real importance here. We want to make sure that they're down, they're open, and most importantly, they're stacked above your hips. Sometimes we are forward leaning or internally rotated, and it causes sort of a cascade of structural health posture problems. So keep those shoulders down and back and resting up on top of the hips. And just bring awareness now into the head. We want the chin, the bottom of the chin, to be parallel with the floor, and we want the top of the head to be parallel with the ceiling. From here, take your hands into heart center, Anjali Mudra. Press the hands together through the perimeter of your palms. Bring the forearms so they're parallel with the earth. Activate your shoulder girdles. Breathe here deeply. Let's set an intention for the class today, for the practice, for your breath, your movement, your mind. We'll go ahead and release the hands back into the knees. And if you'd like to join me in a small chant, Lokaha, Samastaha, Sukhinu, Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free, and may all my actions, my words, my thoughts, my intentions work towards that happiness and that freedom. I often chant this mantra to remind myself to be a bit more kind to others, to the environment, to my own self. I also think it's a lovely chant to pair with physical asana involving spine movement and twist and bends, because there is a bit of that twist. We all do want people to be happy and free. That's easy, but the work, the twist, the challenge is in each of our actions, our thoughts, our words aligning to that intention and that goal. So here we are. You can take your hands to heart center. Again, bringing awareness into your vertical line, and we'll say it 3 times here. Lokaha samastaha sukhinu bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhinu bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhinu bhavantu. So just allowing that vibration, that beautiful mantra to resonate a bit within. And we'll begin to work through a little cleansing kriya here called a Sufi grinds. We're going to inhale, lift up through the heart. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise up. Take it around and bring it back. So just keep moving here, really augmenting the connection between breath and body. You could get a bit more dramatic with it, taking your arms up and around. You could continue to hold on to the knees and just really create a bit of resistance here as you lean back. And another option could be just taking it a bit more mellow and rolling just through the shoulders. This is a nice opportunity to connect again with your body and breath and discern what you need for your practice today. We'll take about one more in this direction. And then we'll take it to the other side. Again, really connecting here with your breath. Starting to utilize that ujjayi breath, which is a light restriction in the throat. Inhaling and exhaling evenly through the nose, almost with a bit of a growl or a rumble. Oftentimes this is a practice that happens first thing in the morning, and it can sometimes last 20 to 30 minutes a day. So for some of us, you might feel it's a little stagnant, but the idea is that we're really moving and responding with little micro adjustments that create an enormous amount of space in the body. And this is usually a practice that's really beneficial first thing in the morning. Gets our digestion going, increases our metabolism, softens our fascia, and again, just tunes you in to body and breath and movement. As we come into a neutral spine, keeping the hands with the knees, let's inhale, lift the heart, taking like a cat-cow posture. Opening through the throat, and then exhale, draw the belly into a C. Upper back into a C shape and tuck the chin. Let's just take two more of those. Inhaling and exhaling. In our vinyasa practice, we want to allow the breath to precede the movement. So before we move here, we exhale out. And as we come into a neutral spine, we inhale to get there. Good. We're just going to take our right arm, lift it up to the side, to the sky, I should say, and then reach it over. Keep looking up, just stretching through the side, hips, ribs, heart. And come back down, resting again onto the thigh. Reach that left arm up, pulling the belly in, squeezing ribs, stretching through side ribs. Extend, hearts are open. Good. Coming back. I'm going to take it very similar, rising up the right arm, really expanding through side body. Bring the head center, take that left arm, just grab the wrist, bend the right arm, and allow the left arm to pull the body. This time the gaze is down. And we'll come back, release, take the left arm to the mat. The right arm to the mat, excuse me. Drop that right ear towards the right shoulder. And release through the left side of the neck. Return again into a neutral spine. Lift that left arm up. Again, really extending through side body. Take the right arm now. Extend and grab the wrist. Bend that left arm. Take the weight of the right arm down to the right side. Looking down to the floor here. Coming back, releasing the arm into the floor, And taking the left ear towards the left shoulder. Good, returning here to a neutral position. We're going to come now onto all fours. So we want to make sure first that our knees are not wider than our hips. As we come down onto our arms, we want to make sure that the wrists are coming right in front of those knees and that the shoulders are stacked right on top, again, of those wrists. So we've got a nice cubicle sort of posture here in table. We're going to press down with that left hand, and as we inhale, we look at the right, rise it up. Stacking the shoulders, really opening the heart here, and then exhale. Bring the right arm through the space of the left wrist, left thigh. Come down to the temple. And for today, let's just walk this left arm forward. Press down with the armpit, down with the shoulder, trying to lengthen and even out through the upper back. Take one nice deep breath right here. And gently bring the left arm back, coming back up to all fours, checking again with the alignment. This time we press in with the right hand. We inhale, lift the left, again opening the shoulders and the heart, and then swooping through. Coming down, resting onto the left temple this time, extending that right arm first forward and then down. Taking some nice deep breaths right here. Returning the right arm, coming back into all fours. We're going to tuck our toes and start pressing back into the feet, really opening and expanding our foot here. Padma Bandha, preparing for standing postures and maybe even some inversion work later on in our practice. With our next inhale, we're going to come into a downward facing dog, taking it nice and gentle. Inhaling, lifting the knees. Exhaling, pressing the chest into the thighs, looking towards the belly and either taking one heel at a time or both heels and extending them down into the earth. Pulling the navel in, squeezing the ribs, and again, looking here towards your pelvis or towards your belly button. Really extending through the heart. And pressing the weight firmly into the hands. We can move here a little bit if it's our first one. I feel like it's a little narrow for me, so I'm going to widen my dog out a little. We're going to extend again. Just take some nice stretching. And pairing that movement again with your breath. We're going to come into what I call knee, chest, chin waves. Let's inhale, come into plank. Exhale, drop your knees. Take your chest right between the thumbs, rest your chin onto the floor. Drop your shoulders down here. Come to the arches, drop your hips, rise your heart. Keep lower belly onto the earth. We're going to tuck the toes, really press up into a plank like a board. And then extend back into dog. Bring the gaze back into the navel here. And we're going to take it again 4 more times. Inhaling, plank. Exhaling, knees, chest, chin. Inhaling, exhaling. Again, breathing in, exhaling out. Inhaling, exhaling. Let's take 2 more. Last one, plank, knees, chest, chin, rise it up, pull it back, and come back into dog. From here, we're going to take our right hand and take it to the left hip. Look under that shoulder and release. Take it now to the other side. Left hand comes to the right hip, looking under the shoulder. And release. Returning the gaze into the navel. Let's raise a right leg here, long and strong. Height isn't important. We want to keep the hips square. All the toes pointing into the earth, and gaze remains up here towards the belly. Go ahead and bring it back down. Square your dog off. Rise it to the left side. Again, keeping hips square. Shoulders open. And gaze into the belly. And bring it back down. So here in our downward facing dog, keep the gaze into the belly. And without moving the hips or the shoulders, rise the right leg up. Baby toes are pointed into the earth. Hips are square. Belly in, ribs are squeezed. Gaze here towards the navel. When you're ready, come back down and take it into the other side. Raising that left leg up. Again, keeping everything nice and stable. Toes are pointed to the earth. Left hip is square. Belly in, ribs squeezed. Gaze here. And coming back. If you need a little break, you can come up to the toes nice and high, extend through the hamstrings by pushing the chest even deeper towards the thighs. And either hold your downward dog or come down into balasana, knees to the floor, bum into the heels. Extend the arms and rest the forehead here. Let's just take one more nice grounding breath. Again, pressing your third eye or your forehead into the earth. And as you exhale, coming back into down all fours, and then into downward facing dog. From here, rise high to the toes. Bring the gaze forward, bend the knees. Walk or jump to the front of your mat. Lengthen here, extending. Exhale, releasing, looking into the belly. Keep the weight leaning forward and rise it up. Let's just take a moment, opening the hands to the side, coming into even pose or samastiti. Breathe here, feeling yourself vertically aligned now. Maybe at the top of your mat, taking your toes slightly closer than your heels. Pressing down with all the perimeter, all the parts of the feet, lifting up through the kneecaps. Extending the hips forward and dropping the tailbone down into the earth. Keeping the belly and the ribs towards the spine, and again the shoulders stacked here on top of the hips. We're going to start with some sun salutes, taking the hands into heart center. Connect back here with your intention. Connect back with your breath. Let's inhale up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips, leading with the heart. Look into the navel. As you inhale, rise up. As you exhale, release. And then inhale, press down with the heels, up with the heart, and come back into the center. Let's just take two more of those. Inhale up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, extend. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise it up. Last one, inhaling up. Exhale, really extending through the hip flexors here, looking into the belly, lengthening. Coming as high as you need to achieve a nice flat back. Exhale again, looking into the belly. And inhale, rising up. We're going to come now into our sun salutation, Surya Namaskara A's. We're only going to take 3 of them for today. And you have some options. So please take the option that suits your needs. Perhaps a knees, chest, chin. Perhaps plank into Chaturanga. Or perhaps jumping straight back into Chaturanga Dandasana. That's the option I'll be taking today. But again, listen to your body. Chaturanga is a posture that can be quite damaging or risky to the shoulders. So if you're not sure how to do it, take that knees, chest, chin option that we did earlier in the class. Okay? Here we are. Inhale. Maybe taking it back. Exhale down. Inhale here, lengthen, achieve a nice long flat back. Come as high as you need to do that. Exhale, push down into the earth, walk or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rise it up. Keep your shoulders down and back, open here through the throat. Exhale, try to roll through those toes. Take it back into downward facing dog. Keeping the belly here engaged, ribs are squeezed. Drishti is into the navel, soft head and neck. With the next inhale, rise high to the toes. Keep pushing the weight back. Bend the knees as you exhale. Walk or jump it forward. Adjust the feet to pigeon toe as you lengthen. Exhale, full fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, back to heart center. Let's take 2 more like that. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, lifting up through that pelvis, engaging our Mula Bandha, pulling Drishti into the belly. Next inhale, let's rise to the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, walk or jump to the front of the mat. Lengthening here. Exhale, full fold. Inhale, rising up. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Hopefully feeling more warm, more flexible, more able. Take it into Chaturanga Dandasana. And take it up into downward facing dog. Coming into even Ujjayi breaths here. For this next jumping forward, we're going to try to jump through. So come up nice and high to the toes, maybe extending the width of the arms a little, bending the knees, walking or jumping the body to a seated position. From here, we can go ahead and extend the feet into a staff pose, Dandasana. Keeping the feet nice and flexed. Baby toes are up towards the hips. Knees are pressing down into the mat. Again, vertical line, long and strong, shoulders on top of the hips. Taking the hands to heart center, let's inhale, rising it up. Exhale, folding it down. Again, really breathing here through the spine, connecting with the intention of the breath, the intention of the class, the intention of your practice. With each inhale, we're going to rise up softly. Exhale, come down a little deeper. 2 more times. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. So even if we're here today, just lifting up through the spine and exhaling a little softer, a little bit more relaxed. Maybe we don't deepen into the pose, but we soften the body into the pose. Let's go ahead and rise on up. Take the right knee over the left leg. Squeeze the knee into the chest. Take the left leg, arm, squeeze that knee into the chest and open the right to the back of the mat. Head and gaze follows there. Bring that right arm swinging around. Extend the left arm to the back of the mat. Come around, switching your legs. Taking the left now over the right. Squeeze it in. Right arm grabs, left arm opens. Ribs, shoulders, head, eyes follow. Coming back through center. Extend that right arm, turning at the waist, ribs, shoulders, and head. And releasing, coming back, maybe shaking it off a little. Taking our hands now to either side of the hips, fingers facing forward. We're going to press into the earth, lift the belly, press the shoulders forward. Keep the legs nice and flexed. Come back down. Let's just take that 4 more times. Lifting up, coming back down. Lifting up, coming back down. Up, back down 1 more time. And coming down. Take some time to flex and point those feet out. And we'll go ahead and scoot the bums so they're close to the heels. Open the feet so they're about hip width apart. And come down onto your backs. We're going to be taking Setu Bandha here, baby bridge. So again, keeping the knees more narrow than the hips. Thinking about keeping the knees almost squeezing together. They don't have to touch. That's sort of the intention here. Go ahead and press down with the shoulders, trying to elongate the spine as much as you can. And when you're ready, on the exhale, you're going to lift the pelvis up. If it's comfortable here, try to stack the shoulders just a bit so you're opening up through the hips, the belly, and the heart. But also be mindful of creating a bit of space between the chest and the chin so the throat chakra is also open in this posture. Keep the gaze here towards the ceiling. And when you're ready, you can gently come down, bringing the bum back into the heel, to the earth, and taking the knees side to side. When you do come down, you want the bum to move towards the heels, not just straight down. So it just allows for a bit more lengthening in your spine. Let's try it again. Keep the heels onto the earth. Knees are facing up. Press down with the shoulders and the palms. Lift up on your next exhale. Tuck the shoulders if you can. From here, if you can, take your hands under the hips. See if you can bring one knee up. Maybe opening that knee, maybe dropping it down. If this isn't accessible to you, you can try using some blocks under here or even some books if you're at home. Maybe even an ottoman to just give you a good stretch right here. Once you've done both sides, see if you can bring both knees in and down. Maybe first resting onto the forehead. You can hold your body here for support. You can grab your hands, or you can keep your palms flat onto the earth. Start to extend the feet behind you. Maybe flexing or pointing, or both. Really lifting and extending through the spine, trying to get the tailbone facing up to the earth.
And with the next breath or two, both legs at a time, maybe one at a time, coming up into shoulder stand. We want a light rotation here, internal, of the thighs. And we don't want a super 6 o'clock. We want a little bend in the pelvis. And again, you can be holding, clasping, or even trying for what we call unsupported, if that's in your practice. And when you're ready, you just bring the knees back down towards the ears, towards the shoulders, almost squeezing the ears here. And gently bringing the body, bringing the back one vertebrae at a time down to the earth. Once you bring the legs here, rise the body, come up into your forearms, and release the neck and the head. From here, we would then just slowly make our way into corpse pose. And since we worked asana today for about 30 minutes, we want to be here for about 3 to 5 minutes, allowing the work, the breath, the movements, the muscles, the blood flow, the oxygen to all sort of integrate, to process, to assimilate, so that your next practice is stronger and more sustainable. So when you're ready, you can come back up from Shavasana, coming into a seated pose, just drawing the hands back into heart center, closing the eyes, keeping awareness again on your vertical line, checking in with your intention, with your breath, with your mind, with your body. Expressing some gratitude for the practice and the effort that you put forth today. I truly do believe by practicing yoga that we are making for a better world. It was an honor to share some breath and movement and space with you today. Thank you. Namaste.